But clearly, we've got a lot to think about. This exponential process that we're on can yield really exciting outcomes, but there are very major risks, and the risks are indeed existential. So we want to recruit you to join the growing band of people who are thinking about these issues, who are thinking about the future clearly, because after all, we probably all intend to live there. So we founded the Economic Singularity Club. We've been a talking shop for about a year, but we've started to produce some tangible work. Later this year, we're going to be launching a survey in conjunction with the United Nations of the attitudes towards technological unemployment among world leaders. And today, we're launching Stories for 2045, our book. You're getting the special edition double cover issue. So it's got this very fun feature that the green end has the happy stories, and you flip over and upside down, the red end has the unhappy stories. There are 6 stories in the book written by an AI. Now, I won't lie to you, they are not great literature. He's asleep at the moment, and I'm not going to wake him up yet because I don't want him to hear this. They read a little bit like Raymond Chandler got home very drunk late one night and decided to dash off some science fiction. But they showed the direction of travel. AIs already write a lot of the reports, the financial reports and sports reports in newspapers. All proceeds from this book go to a charity which we're setting up, the Economic Singularity Foundation. So none of us are getting paid for this. And the charity is going to further the aims of our club, which are to popularise the idea that technological unemployment is something that needs to be taken more seriously, and we have some possible solutions for it, which at the moment are countercultural points of view. Now, it's time to hear 1 or 2 of the stories. So, at this point, we were hoping to have Mark Mardell read his story. Unfortunately, Mark's got a chest infection, and his doctor told him on no account to go out. He has to stay home, which is a shame. But that gives us the opportunity to have Robbie.
So I worked with Douglas Adams, set up a company with him back in the dial-up world of the 1990s. It was to create the real edition of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I executive produced the movie for Disney. And Douglas and I spent a lot of time thinking and talking about the future, although he never thought of himself as a Arthur C. Clarke futurist kind of predictor, but he was fundamentally interested, and it's a theme that runs through all of his work, in one key, really interesting thing, which was perspective. So I've been asked to read this. It's called Ollies by Mark Mardell. The blinking yellow light in the corner of the room on the only terminal you're allowed. You know it's coming. It's still always sickening. Miss Pretty Voice. You've almost reached the limit of your UB allowance for the month. Many families and firms offer attractive indenture options at your local post long-term employment bureau. So universal that everyone you know is on it. So basic that it might just keep you alive if you're not the sort of person who needs to eat every week in a month. They could share, but why would they? Because they're nice. Take it from me. They're not nice. So that's the choice. Kill each other or become a slave. Fully automated luxury oligarchy.
Next up, Jaina.
Right, so my background is in media and television, and worked at both sides of the Atlantic, ran BBC Television for a number of years, and worked in the States as well. And when I was thinking about what to write, I thought that after those 30-odd years, one of the things, the driving features of entertainment, we're going to have much more leisure, disposable time in the world of mass potential unemployment. One of the things that drives entertainment is something called the pitch. And so I thought a picture of an industry executive in the creator class might pitch to keep us abused in 2045. So here's the pitch. Well, I know our creator class has to keep delivering entertainment goods to the public. People just have so much time to kill. Our business is to prove that imagination cannot be cloned, replicated, or machined. But before I get to the pitch, let's look at why we need a brand new entertainment idea. Humans becoming so connected has had a dire impact on competitive sports entertainment. Just think about it. Take the Olympics. We lost that so-called battle against blood doping back in 2028. The format, we will have two teams, the Grizzlies and the Mods. The Grizzlies, well, they're the weirdos. They've kept themselves away from AI, the grid, the new generations of tech-enhanced bodies, and the Internet of Things. When this game is not rigged goes live, we're also going to shake up things a bit in terms of the live entertainment genre. You know how algorithms select how audiences view these days, and how storylines are changed in real time while we're on air, based on constant feedback? Well, we want This Game Is Not Rigged to drop that. It's going to be guerrilla content, subversive. Machine intelligence is not going to be allowed anywhere near this game. Thank you.
So this little chap is going to read one of the 6 stories in the book, which was written by an AI. The AI was trained by reading 300,000 stories which had been contributed to a page on Reddit. The technology is at fairly early stage, but let's see what he made of it. Can you read the AI story? Read the AI story.
Please wait. This world was the most peaceful place in history, and all this was good to go. All I had to do was walk home, and there wasn't enough time to go home. I was just trying to make sure you're ready. I was just worried you'd make a good man in your home. I hold his hand back. I love you too much. I love you too.
Thank you, Sparky. I think we've got a few years yet, haven't we? A short panel session with 3 splendid panellists. Seamus Ray from KPMG, Radhika, the aforementioned from Ernst & Young, and Scott Heekin-Kennedy, who, to my great joy, has come all the way from New York to be with us for this evening. So thank you for that. Might we have to be trained to have no feelings for our artificial servants?
And the concept that we need to be trained to not care about AI and we should be careful about, having too much affection towards them, I think actually is wrong. I think the reality is that we are going to fall in love with these things, right? They are going to be empathetic, and they are going to know and understand how to play us better than we understand ourselves. I watched my kids, and when they were 4 and 6, they knew exactly how to manipulate me, right? And so for an AI system to be able to work out how to manage me and how to make me feel happy and play to my rather fragile ego is going to be quite easy, I think, going forward.
Many surprising things in that reply, particularly the idea of you having a fragile ego. You can write your own story from 2045 and send it to us. On this website, you send us the story, as long as it isn't illegal or hateful or some other way inappropriate that we haven't thought about yet, we'll publish it there, and if we get some really good ones, we'll publish a sequel to the book.